name's Daniel Bushell. Water, food and population control. Highly disturbing footage in this program.
Bill Gates' eugenics plan caught on camera.
$10 billion over the next 10 years to make it the year of the vaccines. What does that mean exactly?
Well, over this decade, we believe unbelievable progress can be made, both inventing new vaccines and making sure they get out to all the children who need them. The benefits there in terms of reducing sickness, reducing the population growth, it really allows a society a chance. Reducing the population growth.
So what's wrong with the population? I mean,
we're too many people. That's why we have global warming.
Reducing the population growth.
The negative impact of population growth. The United Nations can and should play an essential role in helping the world find a satisfactory way of stabilizing world population. The United Nations can and should play an essential role in helping the world find a satisfactory way of stabilizing world population.
Rick, what does population stabilization mean, and how do you seek to enforce that?
Well, we're not the epigones of Malthus, as some would have you believe, but the world population is a concern. The Associated Press just has an article today saying that the world population is going to reach 7 billion people by the year 2012. We're 6.7 billion people today.
Hey, good to see you. Just a simple question. What did you mean by depopulation should have been the priority of U.S. foreign policy against the third world? Shame me. I'm not wanted for mass murder in different countries, unlike you, sir. How does it feel? All the millions, all the dictatorships, all the overthrows.
We'll be held accountable for them one way or another.
Our idea is have a plan, Rick. You're spouting off things from an office in California. This is my question. You're saying something very controversial here, and I hope people understand what you're saying. You think there should be fewer people in the United States. I'm trying to figure out which people are the undesirables. And you pointed out you think immigrants are undesirable.
Aerosol geoengineering looks like it is so cheap that the cost is basically not going to be an issue. That means that implementation decisions will be risk-to-risk decisions. But I think the more we do research, the less easy this will look, the more complicated the environmental effects will look. And that's a good thing, because right now it looks too easy. So I think that if we do more research, we're likely to find out that it's harder and more complicated than we thought, and that the side effects are harder to manage. And by the way, it's not really a moral hazard. It's more like free riding on our grandkids. And by the way, it's not really a moral hazard. It's more like free riding on our grandkids.
Upwards of 80% of key US-grown foods like corn are already genetically modified. When GMOs get from the lab to the table, doctors and scientists consistently warn of extremely serious effects.
Every single independent study conducted on the impact of genetically modified food shows that it damages organs, it causes infertility, it causes immune system failure, it causes holes in the GI tract, it causes multiple organ system failure.
25, 30, 35 years ago, no one was allergic to anything. And now everything. I have people that are allergic to parsley.
When you link it to the GMO issue, it resonates like you would not believe.
The villain in this is Obama to me, because he first of all, he promised blatantly that he would look into this and do something, and he didn't.
We'll let folks know whether their food has been genetically modified, because Americans should know what they're buying.
He also appointed, what is the guy's name? Michael Taylor. Used to be a VP at Monsanto, the seat of evil. To be the food czar, the FDA Deputy Commissioner of Foods. And of course, Monsanto's latest Frankenfood got speedy approval because this guy is in charge of it. Because it's like putting Jerry Sandusky in charge of Chuck E. Cheese. Of course he's going to approve.
Monsanto's the company that told us that PCBs were safe. They told us that Agent Orange was safe. They told us that DDT was safe. And now they're in charge of telling us if their own genetically modified foods are safe. Because the FDA doesn't require a single safety study, they leave it to Monsanto.
A new bombshell email is even more alarming when investigative journalist Anthony Gucciardi questioned a senior GMO executive on shocking evidence that genetically modified foods cause infertility. Here's how he responded.
If this causes infertility, awesome. The world is overpopulated. This is why GMO is actually saving the planet. I am doing humanity a fucking favor. Sincerely, Ed.
Questions are now being asked on Monsanto buying a firm that's injected a permanent infertility gene into corn. The corporation's name is Epicite.
Epicite patented a product, patented a gene, which causes both men and women who eat it, in the form of any product, to produce antibodies, rendering them irreversibly sterile. Now, DuPont and Monsanto formed a joint venture, purchased the Epicite firm, and, quote, commercialized the Epicite gene. Do you want to know if the food that you're eating contains the Epicite gene? The FDA, the Fraud and Death Administration, has made sure that under current laws, it is illegal for you to have that information.
On leaving Microsoft, Bill Gates bought $23 million of Monsanto shares. Globally, he now promotes GMOs and a vaccines collection he calls the solution for the world. Gates has been recorded explaining this solution is actually to cut the world's population.
Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%. The density in the poor areas is greater than they can grow the food. The benefits there in terms of reducing the population growth.
The only vaccines that reduce the population, notes the site Prison Planet, are ones that sterilize people. The BBC says his foundation's funding big sterilization programs such as this one that blasts men's scrotums with ultrasound to damage the sperm. Here Gates actually calls for the so-called death panels to decide whether folks should live or whether, as he puts it, they have no benefit whatsoever.
And a lack of willingness to say, you know, is spending $1 million on that last 3 months of life for that patient, would it be better to see which ones actually have no benefit whatsoever? But that's called the death panel, and you're not supposed to have that discussion.